Welcome to Legends with Bevan Jones. Thanks to Anytime Fitness Glenelg and Bigford's Australia.
Well, g'day and welcome to Legends with Bevo, the show where we chat to past and present sports people, entertainment icons and people doing great things in the community, like the man to my right, who is going to be doing an incredible run from Melbourne to Adelaide with a group of mates to raise money for a very important charity that's very close to his heart. We'll get him to talk about that in a moment, but introducing Banksy, Craig Banks. Great to have you on the show, mate.
Pleasure, mate. Thanks for having us.
So obviously, we've known each other for quite a while, but this charity, this run that you'll be doing from Melbourne to Adelaide is raising money for a charity which is called Prader Willi Syndrome, PWS. Did I get that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. So Banksy, tell us more about Prader Willi Syndrome, or PWS, and why this charity is so close to your heart, and the run you'll be doing as well.
So I have a 1-year-old daughter, Zoe, who was diagnosed with Prader Willi Syndrome about 3 weeks after she was born last year. And at the time of receiving that diagnosis, it was pretty much the first we'd heard about Prader Willi Syndrome. And it was an extremely traumatic time for my wife, Rachel, and I, given the potential severity of Prader Willi Syndrome. If you ever Google PWS, it generally paints a pretty grim picture, so which certainly didn't help at the time. But we're back on track now, and Zoe's gone really well. I should just give you a bit of background about the condition. At a high level, it's a randomly occurring genetic condition that where some of the genes in chromosome 15 are inactive or missing, and that affects a critical part of the brain. People with PWS generally have really low muscle tone, global developmental delays, heightened anxiety, and the hallmark feature of the condition is a relentless hunger that often leads to extreme obesity and a range of other complex medical issues that go with that. It's pretty rare. It affects about 1 in 15,000 babies, and with around 1,500 people living with PWS in Australia at the moment. And because there's not many of us, or not many out there, it is quite low profile and well underfunded in Australia. And I guess just to put those numbers into perspective, MND, or motor neurone disease, affects roughly 1 in 11,000 Australians, but they are doing amazing with their funding, and obviously they have a couple of high profile people pushing fight MND, so great work by them. But if we can get anywhere near what they're doing with funding and put that towards research, that'll be a great step forward. So that's really the reason for the run. The run itself wasn't actually my idea. It was a mate of mine, Michael Lebon. He and 5 of his running club mates based in Melbourne were going to do this run from Melbourne to Adelaide just for fun. They were going to do it in blocks of 10Ks each, and they were just planning to run to Adelaide for the Australia Day long weekend next year. So they're mad runners, and they're also mad buggers as well for wanting to do this. But Michael, my mate, came to a PWS fundraiser we organised in October this year, and he got in touch with me afterwards and wanted to support, and had the idea of doing this run for Prader Willi Syndrome medical research. They were going to do 10K relay legs, but because Prader Willi Syndrome impacts, or the cause is a defect in chromosome 15, he had the idea to run 15K blocks to fund research into chromosome 15. And so I thought that was bloody nice that him and his mates wanted to do that for Zoe's cause. So I thought I'd better do it as well, and we've since roped in a few other mates, just old football mates and schoolmates. Also one other dad with a son with Prader Willi Syndrome has joined us. So there's 12 runners now, and so we'll be leaving from Melbourne in late January.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you're doing 15 kilometres each in blocks. And what happens in between when you've done your 15 kilometres? Will you just drive to the next town, or how's that all work?
Yeah, so we'll have Winnebagos or a coach that'll tag along with the runners, and so we'll try and get some sleep. We'll be in groups of 2 or 3 runners at a time, and there'll be 5 relay legs. So going at about between 5 and 6 minute Ks, we expect you'll get maybe 6 hours between your 15K legs. So towards the end, each runner will do at least 105 Ks over the journey. So I'm in not bad shape, but I'm not a long distance runner. So this is going to be a hard yakka.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Have you started doing training and stuff for it as well? Or?
I only committed to this about a month ago, and since that time I've been to see a running guru, Dr. Michael Nitschke, who's given me a program and fitted me for shoes, and so I have ramped up the training, getting in about 50 Ks a week at the moment. But yeah, I'm not sure anything can prepare you for something like this off the base that I have, so which should make it good fun. But a few of the other guys that have been brought in late are in the same boat as I am, and Greg Niven, who's the other dad of a young child with Prader Willi Syndrome, he's in a similar boat. We've joined because we're passionate about the cause and we want to raise money, so we're prepared to tough it out.
And what sort of target are you looking for at the moment, Banksy?
Well, we understand that dedicated research requires about 40 grand to fund a full year of dedicated research. That funds a full-time PhD student and a doctor to oversee the PhD student. And so we're trying to really just fund as many research years as we can. And we've had a great start. We're up to almost 1 research year already, up to almost 40 grand. But yeah, between now and the run, we'd just like to get as many research years in as we can, and also just raise as much awareness about the condition Prader Willi Syndrome as we possibly can to drive the research and the funding down the track.
And most importantly, how can we donate to this great cause?
Well, if you're happy for me to do it, we'll add a link to our fundraising page on your Facebook site and your website. And if you're interested in supporting, any contribution, large or small, would be greatly appreciated. And it would be huge. So yeah, would be really appreciative of any contribution.
And in terms of PWS, so you spoke about MND before, we know that can get anyone of any age. Does PWS only affect young people, or can all people, like people of my age or age, get it as well, Banksy? Or?
You're born with PWS. It's a genetic condition, so you generally get a diagnosis 3 or 4 weeks into life, and so as I mentioned, it affects 1 in every 15,000 babies at the moment, and there is no cure. And there is a very limited number of treatments out there. So that is really the principal reason why we're funding research. Not much research has happened in Australia to date, but the foundation that we're raising money for, they're about 5 or 6 years old now, and they're starting to get a few good projects underway, and they're on the cards is a dedicated PWS research facility in Australia, which would be huge. And so, which is really exciting. So, any money that we do raise is going to really transformational research, and that's exciting.
Well, let's hope we can get lots of money towards this, and maybe get some. If there's any media people out there that are watching, interview this great man and get this out there, and hopefully we can get some ambassadors from the celebrity side of things as well, Banksy. Because we need to really get out and promote such an important cause, and like you said before, people with MND, like obviously Neil Danaher and all those guys doing a great job, but we want to see in the next few years the same kind of thing with PWS.
Yep, excellent.
Yeah, and before I let you go, you used to be a pretty handy tennis player as well, I heard. Did you have a world ranking in doubles back in the day, Banksy?
I did, but yeah, handy might be a bit of a stretch, but yeah, I did back in my younger days. So I tried to become a professional tennis player and played full time after school for 3 or 4 years. But but unfortunately I was no Pat Rafter, so eventually had to go back to uni and get a real job. But yeah, enjoyed it, and I'm back playing Div 1 now, afternoon grass with a few mates, which is good fun after a few years out of the game.
Oh, fantastic. Good on you. Well, mate, it's just awesome what you're doing, you and your mates, and well done to you. Obviously, yeah, sad situation with Zoe, but let's hope that we can do something about this, and hopefully she's going to be okay in the future now. And again, thanks so much for your time today, mate.
Thanks for having us, Bevo.
My pleasure. Thank you. Well, hello everyone, Bevo from Legends with Bevo, and if you like our videos, give us a subscribe, and you can also like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram at Legends with Bevo. And for those people that want to listen to us, you can jump on the Anchor page as well. Just look up Legends with Bevo there. We've done over 80 interviews with past and present sports people, entertainment icons, and people doing great things in the community. So I'm sure there's an interview there that you'll love to have a listen or watch. Thanks so much. And also, if you're a business or someone out there is looking to get behind a great SA business, that's right, we're looking for sponsors at the moment for the podcast. Simply just give us a shout out or drop us a line. You can see the number there. Be great to hear from you, and obviously collaborate with some more SA businesses. I love doing that. So yeah, get in touch, and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you all. Take care.